What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, and this week I am joined by the condescending face of James.
What's up?
I saw the face you were making. Dave, the not so evil Viking 13, and Joel making his triumphant return from from
not here,
wherever he was last week.
I don't even remember.
You were celebrating with your dad.
Oh, that's what it was.
Family moments. I block it, then I cry. Okay, so anyway, welcome back to the show, everybody. So let's hop straight to announcements because we have a lot of crap going on tonight. I'm sorry, Joel. Was that not a good joke?
No. Did you say I block it, then I cry? Yeah. I don't know why it's so funny. I block it, then I cry. It's like a horrible, it's like a failed musical.
The other night,
failed or succeeding?
I don't know why. But my wife and I, our phones kind of match a little bit now. Like they look similar, but we're talking about getting new phones. And we were just joking around. And I forget what came over me, but I was trying to make her laugh. So I picked up our two phones and smacked the screens together and went, "Two phones, best friends." And that was it. Like it was just a 4-word song. Like 10 minutes of solid laughter. Like, and she's been like singing it to herself because I got it stuck in her head.
Oh
no! Yeah, so I guess that's my thing now. I make like 5-word songs that don't benefit anybody. Okay, so we're reminding you guys about the Fallout 4 fan fiction contest. We have gotten several submissions now, and they are good. Not like good writing good, but like we laugh a bunch, and they're suitably profane good. So, if you want to enter the Fallout 4 fanfiction contest, what do people need to do, Joel?
Wait, sorry, say that again, because James sent me a photo right as you said that.
Joel, this is your contest.
You were talking about the Fallout fanfiction, but the question I missed.
Yeah, that's really all I said was, what do people need to do for the contest?
Write the best one-page fan fiction. Now, Dave is allowed to enter. He's the only one of us that's allowed to enter. We don't know what he's writing, so we're being fair. Trust me, we'll crush his story just the same as we'll crush all of yours. But one-page fan fiction story set in the Fallout universe. You have to include me and James as us. So the best as you can. You know, I mean, do what you want to do, but like, yeah, if you've been listening to the podcast, you should know how we are. The line you have to include is, "Why can't I carry all this loot?" If you win, you get a copy of Fallout 4. And it's due by November 10th. Now, Dave made me laugh because he's like, crap, I have to buy my game because even if Dave wins, I'm going to buy it for him like the couple days afterwards.
I wanted to play on launch day.
So it's kind of like a dick tournament. Or a competition.
Is. It really is.
Yeah, I win, but now I got to wait like a couple days. I'll try to get his people really, really quickly.
We could always pick the winner that day and then send out and then announce it.
That's a good idea.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Now, James, there is a bonus. There's a bonus line you added.
I've given a bonus line. If you can work in the words me saying to Joel, "What are you, retarded?" Then I'll give you a personal bonus.
One person did submit their story before you made that bonus rule. So if they want to make an addendum,
there are no point tallies, so.
That's true.
It doesn't matter.
It will not hurt you at all. So when we say a bonus, it really just means, James just wants to hear stories that say that.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you just get the line, "Why can't I carry all this loot?" Anything's a little bit might be extra, but if it's not done well, it might hurt you more. So yeah, due by November 10th. So get them in.
And if they win, Joel will buy you Fallout 4 on your platform of choice, right?
That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Although
I guess I'd have to figure out. No, I mean, you can buy a code for PSN or Xbox, I guess.
Yeah.
So not for 360 people.
It's not coming out on PS3 and 360. Is it good?
No.
Good.
That's what we need, a next-gen Bethesda game on
If
the
you only have
PS3's
360.
memory on the PS3's memory issues. It'll just get to login screen and lock up. Like,
We
no.
only have 360. We'll get you Fallout 3.
What a generous guy.
It's only 7 years old.
It's $2.
Yeah, you'll swing down to GameStop, pick it out of the dollar bin. It's got some scratches. Just buff it off.
There's like 3 pieces of gum stuck to it. It's all right.
So, our Rocket League tournament is almost over. I think just the final match needs to be held, and that is Dave and Shane, Team America UK, versus the ball busting buddies, which is Snoov and Fake Thriller. Now it was a little bit of an upset in the tournament here. Joel, did you think you and John were going to lose to Team America UK? Be honest.
No, not at all. Not at all.
The worst team name of all.
I told John like 2 days later, or more of like, I guess the day later.
Today.
Yeah, today, I guess. Was it? Wait, when did you guys play us?
It was
a couple days. Yeah. Anyways, so John was like, "No, don't you be looking up Star Wars or anything." Well, I had my Apple Watch and it had the Twitter feed going, so I couldn't help myself to look a few times. I don't think it cost me anything, but my mind was just not connecting to Rocket League.
Joel,
at
did you
all.
Twitter for Star Wars?
I was just following something. Yeah.
Joel twittered. Oh my, this is serious.
We were grinding some heists before the Lowriders update came out. And one of our guys, Ben, we were like shooting people running around an island. He's like, dang it, the Fandango site's down. And he had like his phone and his browser, like trying like every single site where you could ever buy movie tickets. And he was desperately trying to get through for like an hour until he was finally able to buy tickets. So many brave souls were not gaming like they should have been that night.
I stayed up till 1 a.m. to get all my tickets.
Yeah, I woke up the next morning and then leisurely browsed all the theaters like, I like this one. And then I just bought tickets like it was not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the showing that I'm going to will probably be sold out pretty soon. Like
I'm going to a 10 p.m. Thursday one though. Like that one should be sold out pretty soon. But
it is crazy how many showings are already up. Usually it's like the 10 o'clock and midnight showings, and then once they sell out, they put the rest of them. But yeah. Anyways, so moving on.
Speaking of
Rocket League,
Rocket League tournament,
can we move backwards really fast?
Sure.
Do we have the Fallout contest information anywhere in text?
It's been in the show notes of the past couple podcasts. So
Can we also maybe put it on the website?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. For Besatrix.
yeah, then check out
Yeah, we can do that.
casualshenanigans.com.
Sure. Yep. But anyway, all right. So back to the Rocket League tournament. So the final match still has to be held. We're not making any predictions about how it's going to go.
I emailed Snoop today trying to set up the time, and he's like wasn't available for a few days. I just replied back. I'm like, oh great, this will give Amazon time to get me my package. And I linked him to the 55-gallon drum of lube from Amazon. it's
I am definitely going to tune in and watch this. It's like, no offense to you guys, it's going to be good.
It's going to be awful. Although, if you guys have not watched Shane's perspective, I think I was on Skype for like over the phone for the last match against Joel and John. It is amazing. The noise that Joel made when they lost, he goes, no. It was like this pause. And then this like cartoon like scream came out of his mouth like it was amazing. I rewound the clip and just listened to that scream over and over again. It's gonna be my new text ringtone.
You need to pair it with mine when that zombie was after me.
It's Joel's new Wilhelm scream.
Basically, it was amazing. Like it was so genuine, just the despair.
Me and John were like, F this, we're deleting this game.
But you were playing again last night.
Yeah, we're gonna play again. We played a match. We lost like 4 times in a row. We're now, I think, bronze level 3 or whatever in the rank. So we're playing against some good people now often, but we were just getting rolled. And we're like, all right, that's it. If we don't win this match, we're just never playing this game again. And John's like, yeah, okay, all right, so we gotta play really good. I want to keep playing this game. We're like, we're not gonna delete it, but it was fun to think about.
So we're gonna have another tournament. What we heard from you guys most of all was, hey, this is nice, but why does it have to be stretched out over a couple of weeks? Well, we did that to make the tournament easier so people could just play on their own schedule. Yeah, but we want to do another tournament, and we want to do it all in one night so that people who want to play can just go all the way through the brackets and they can know if they won or lost. Do it more like a traditional tournament because Rocket League matches are really, really short. So that's very, very doable, and we're going to do it again. So we're going to do a 2 versus 2 double elimination tournament Friday, November 6th from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All this information, of course, is in the show notes. So you will need to show up. You'll need to be able to join the Casual Shenanigans Teamspeak, also in the show notes. We'll have somebody in the lobby helping get people connected, making sure they're where they need to be. And we're going to do it like you'll show up, you'll play, and then you'll either immediately, within 5 minutes be playing someone else, or as soon as you get eliminated, you're done and you can leave. So we're just going to go straight through until we get a winner, and hopefully we can do that in under 3 hours. But If you want to play, you do need to sign up with us. You need to write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com with your team names. It doesn't matter if you're on PSN or on the PC, but you need to be able to join our Teamspeak server. We highly recommend that you show up early, and you can totally use the same teams and the same team names from the last tournament if you want to. And we're going to do it all in one day, and then we'll try to come up with a prize.
Just need to let us know that you can play on that day.
Exactly.
If you don't show up, you're out. And the other team that was supposed to play you maybe just goes on to the next round.
So if we have any no-shows, that's an automatic forfeit if people are late or if they don't show up, just so we can keep the tournament moving. And we're just going to experiment.
Perma-banned from Teamspeak.
Exactly. We'll never talk to you again.
I'm hoping to be able to do this maybe at least once a month. Just like one night, we just do a thing so we can kind of roll through it, just have fun, but just have one night of competition. So we're going to test it out, try to keep it smooth and quick. So,
Okay. All right. Up next is Patreon thank yous. If you guys don't know what Patreon is, it is a way that
you're obviously not donating.
You're not a real fan if you don't know.
It's a way you can support the show. So it does things like it buys better lights, it bought better mics, it pays for our podcast hosting, website hosting, everything like that. None of those expenses are actually too much. So it more than pays for all that stuff now. So you might be wondering, like, what are you guys using the money for? We actually have some plans of ways we're going to spend the money in the future, but right now we're just kind of saving it. There's a certain amount we spend every month on things like the Teamspeak server, which you're welcome to use, you and your friends, stuff like that. But we are saving money. We have plans. Things are in the works. You'll hear about it. It's nothing earth-shattering. We're not going to be like, we're making potato mashers for everybody. Or we're buying Joel grown-up clothes. Like, it's not going to be ridiculous stuff. It's going to be, like, useful things. I'm just kidding, Joel. I'm wearing, like, an old faded Watchman shirt, so I can't really.
Ooh,
that's very
Back to the
adult.
Future.
Working from home has definitely made my personal style, like, slip a little bit. I basically just wear the same pair of shorts and a t-shirt every single day. If it's too cold, I just shut the door to my office. Too hot, I crack a window. That's it.
Wait, old t-shirt and shorts.
And by crack a window, you mean like a physical window or like just like a hole you ripped in your pants? Crack a window. Let some cool air get in here.
The crack window, that's what I make. I open the swamp vent and just let all the gas.
I say crack the window, not window the crack.
So, anyway, so we have someone who upped their pledge. I have a sneaking suspicion this person's just upping their pledge because they like hearing Joel do funny voices.
Which we appreciate too.
We all like hearing Joel do funny voices, so thank you. And James, you have a suggestion for the voice, don't you?
Joel, I want you to do Cartman.
Okay. Hey guys. Guys want to come over to my house? Thanks, Boxfish, for upping your pledge. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it.
That's pretty good.
It was good. You had a little bit of the Italian in there too.
It's sneaking in.
That's what I like about Joel. He never says no. Speaking of Joel, what did you think about James's impression of you last week?
It was not bad. It was so short, though. It was like one line and then it was done. I was like, oh.
His creepy preacher molester?
Yeah. I liked it, but I wanted like another phrase of it.
Well, you wanted more creepy preacher molester.
Yeah,
more.
I need words to say.
No moleste, por favor.
All right, well, I think that joke's run its course. Executive decision, moving on. All right, it's now time for our main topic. So we had the pleasure last week of interviewing Toby and Adam from Warhorse Studios over in the Czech Republic, Dave's spirit country.
Patreon flew us out there, which is pretty cool.
Thank you, Patreon. First class all the way.
Staying in the castle was pretty awesome. I can't believe we could afford that.
It was. And cuddles with Dean. That's not cheap, you know?
Well, it's gotten cheaper since he left Bohemia.
All you have to do is pledge his new game. But we are pretty dang excited about it. We saw a trailer for it at E3, I believe, right? Wasn't it it was in a role, like a pre-show role somewhere?
Yeah. And then Joel found the Kickstarter, I think, last year and is still very proud of that fact.
It's being developed for the PC first and then PS4 and Xbox One as well. And it's a realistic open world medieval RPG. No dragons, no demons, no elves, just realistic medieval history in the Czech Republic. And we sat down and we talked to them about it for a little while. So here is that interview. Please enjoy, and we'll pick up right after it.
Achieved with CryEngine.
All right, we're here with Toby and Adam from Warhorse Studios over in the Czech Republic, right? Mm-hmm. All right,
capital city of Prague.
I'm sorry, where?
In the capital, in Prague.
In Prague, okay. Well, awesome. And it's much later for them and it's much earlier for us. So thank you guys for taking time out of your workday to talk to us.
We figured we wouldn't ask them to do it live on the podcast because it would be like 3 a.m.
But you guys are currently working on Kingdom Come Deliverance. So can you give us the quick 1 minute pitch? What is Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Okay, I will just start. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a medieval RPG set in Bohemia, and it's set in the time 1403. So it's a game about real historical events and a real place and a real setting that really happened, and a place that really existed in the heart of Europe. And it's, as I said, a single-player RPG, and it's single player and offline only. That means there won't be any big multiplayer combats or something like that, but we want a very high level of immersion. That's why we go with a lot of immersion, with a lot of history, with a lot of accuracy, with high graphic standards, and we want the player actually to, let's say, taste blood in his mouth when he gets hit with a sword in his face. So yeah, as I said, it's a single player offline RPG set in Bohemia.
Cool.
That's awesome. Does it come with little blood pills like you can get in the Halloween stores?
Something like that. No, really. Normally, when you imagine combat in those RPG games or in this, let's say, medieval-ish games, you will mostly you have some button smashing or some choreography. It looks like dancing, of like a fighting dance. If you think of, for example, the Batman fighting the Arkham stories and stuff like that. They're mostly dancing around each other, doing this also crazy moves. Mm-hmm. In our game, you have if you have one opponent in front of you, it's like a fight to death, because you have if you imagine that you grab a sword and need to fight with someone, you need to totally focus on him. You need to react to his facial impressions, to his body language, to like every move he's doing. And so we want, as I said, immersion is extremely important for us. So every battle demands a lot of skill of the player.
So would you say for your combat, you're definitely leaning more towards a simulation style of combat instead of a more arcade hack and slash style?
I wouldn't call it like simulation is a big word. It's a very big word. We really try to be as historically accurate as possible. And that's from combat to the landscape to the animals you will encounter, the people you will meet. But we don't want to create a medieval simulation. We want to have a game that is as historically accurate as possible, but also has fun gameplay elements. And our creative director is called Daniel Vavra. He's maybe some of you know them. He made the Mafia series and different games. Oh yeah. And he's the one who's actually taking care of the fun part. So he's trying to make the game as fun as possible with a lot of meaningful quests, deep quests and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, we have Asha, who is our historian in our team. And Asha is a young lady who's actually fighting with him every day because she wants a game that is as historically accurate as possible. We have this everyday challenge between fun gameplay and historical accuracy, and that's the balance we try to find, and we think that we are on a very good way.
Now, you guys mentioned that you guys are in Prague, right?
Yep.
Now, excuse my American geography here. That is the Bohemian region, is that correct?
That's right. That's correct.
So how does that help you guys out, actually being located in the region where the game takes place?
Well, we have a lot of inspiration from this place, right? So the landscape which is being modeled in the game is going to be is really similar to what you can see around here, sort of, right? So that is a great thing, of course, and I think it's important to develop things from, let's say, your region, right?
Oh yeah.
We're even going into detail because, for example, if you check you can't see it now, but in the game you will see the entire game map, which is around 16 square kilometers big, and the actual interesting part is that this map is a real satellite height map. That means that if you go Google Map, you will find exactly this map with the same water stream.
Almost the same
right. Water side. The only thing we had to change is we had to move the villages and cities a bit nearer to each other to make the area a bit more densely populated. But we still believe that the story that we want to tell, which takes place in early summer 1403, can be told in this small area, and that's why we've chosen this. And as Adam said, we take a lot of inspiration of the country, because Czech Republic, that's Bohemia today is called Czech Republic, and Bohemia is just part of it. And in Czech Republic, it has a huge history with castles and kings and fighting and intrigues, and like very interesting.
Yeah, it's been an interesting region.
It's like you can find castles here, let's say correct me if I'm wrong, 20 kilometers or something like that. Every 30 kilometers you go outside the city, and every 20, 30, 50 kilometers you find a castle, a ruin, a siege, a fortress, something like that. And the area which we cover in our game, actually most of the buildings we are showing still exist today. That means there will, for example, in the game will be a huge monastery called the Sázava Monastery, and in the game in 1403 they wanted they had the monastery already was set, but they wanted to add a church, a big building to it. But because of the war, which we want to show too, it was never finished. And today it has exactly the same, or nearly this, it looks the same like in the year 1403. So we can actually really went there with our graphic artists and our designers. We went there with a very nice partnership with with the guys taking care of the monastery. They let us everywhere in the towers, in the monasteries, in the secret gardens, everywhere. We could take pictures of everything. And we have one graphic designer at our team who is already 1 year working just on this monastery. So there's a lot of effort in this building, and also a lot of reconstruction too, because some of the frescoes have not, they have not made it.
Definitely.
So some parts have to be reconstructed. And now it's going to be kind of interesting what is going to happen in the next year, because they have discovered some new frescoes, like some old frescoes back in that monastery, right? So
yes, Martin, the guy who is working on it, will be upset to change his 1 year work. But that's actually interesting. Adam said that the reconstruction part, it's not only about frescoes and paintings, but it's also
cultural heritage.
Yeah, cultural heritage and destroyed castles, for example. We have a big city called Rataye, which will be in the game too. And Rataye was famous because it had 2 castles, even though it was just one city. And one of the castles is mainly destroyed. So our historian and our graphic designers are doing also some educational work, because they are rebuilding these destroyed castles, villages, fortresses, churches, whatever. So like it's really let's say like a trip to history, living history, playable history, and that's, I think, very, very interesting.
You realize that after this game is released, you're probably going to get people walking around your city with maps from the game, trying to find all the locations.
Yeah, we will tell them, well, you guys have to go like 50 kilometers east, or 30 miles. Yeah, we
just walk a little further than you think it's supposed to be on the map.
You know what's the fun thing about what you just said is that the Czech tourism agency already contacted us about, hey, maybe in future we can do some Kingdom Come tour, something.
Oh, wow. That would be awesome.
Amazing.
Yes, please. I want this.
Dave's squealing over here.
Yeah, all of this sounds like right up my alley. This all sounds fantastic.
So come over.
Awesome.
I will be your private guide.
Jeremiah, we could make it a whole casual shenanigans trip. We could do the DayZ tour of the Czech countryside and then add the Kingdom Come tour to that.
But if you visit us, you will be very pleased, because at our studio is very new. We haven't done any game before. Warhorse Studios exists, like, it's hard to say when it started, because the Kingdom Come was born in an idea and then really started to actually work in March 2014 after the Kickstarter campaign. And before, it was just trying to create prototypes and sell it to publishers and stuff like that. But the people who are actually working here are more or less veterans from other games, or from other studios. So you find people here from Arma, from DayZ, from Mafia, from Skyrim, from Forza Horizon, from Operation Flashpoint, if you know that. Mm-hmm. So here if you come here, you can meet all those creators.
The gaming legends.
Yeah, I think you guys just made it like basically a list of some of our favorite games right there.
At least like Czech famous game creaters.
And also, what is nice about this place is that we a lot of people from here are also from different universities here around here, right? So there is an active research going on here, yes. and that is really exciting.
Now, how did you decide to tell this particular story, or using this particular time period? It makes sense that you want to tell a story of stuff that happened around your area in your local history, but how did you decide on this particular time period?
We want to go how would I call it? I would say how was the film called with the Scottish Braveheart? We want to use the Braveheart effect. Because if no one had made a film about William Wallace, no one would be interested about Scottish history, or at least not in this big scale.
Oh yeah,
no, it's very true. Yeah,
and we think that German history, world wars, everything, and the French Revolution, everything was really good covered, and it was in many games, in many movies and books. But the real Holy Roman Empire story, because that's Bohemia in that time was one of them, or maybe even the most important country inside this Holy Roman Empire. These stories are full of intrigues and full of hating and full of civil wars and full of really interesting gaming stuff, which you just from reading, you think like, wow, that seems like really awesome. But no one did a story about that. No one did a game about it. Film, movies, yes, books, yes. But no one actually went to try to make a video game out of it. And this particular time is interesting for us because this is, I wouldn't call it test, but after this after 1403, the Hussite Wars started in the Holy Roman Empire. A very, very big, bloody and ugly civil war. And that's maybe a hard candy for us for now. So we wanted to try to tell the story before this war, which is 1403. The war started at 1410 or something like that, several years later. And that's something like a prequel. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we try to explain what actually happened. And in our story, let's say, shit is already going on. So things are starting to get like very, very, very dangerous. And you will actually reincarnate into Henry, who's the son of a blacksmith, and who gets torn into this early civil war. So you will see this history, that what actually happened. You will see it through his eyes and play your role in this, or your history in this overall historical correct history. So you will not change history. Everything will happen as it really happened. Cities will get burned out, which really got burned out. Armies will attack. Armies will wander through the country, which really wander through the country and which really attack Bohemia. And you will get torn inside this. You will play your role, and you will see all this and feel all this.
Now, when you guys were looking at this story, how much background did you have to figure out to, like, did you say, okay, I know a little bit about my local history? So then you really started diving in. You're like, wow, there's a lot to learn here.
A shit ton of work because you need to explain everything. You can't just say that's another dimension or that's magic or the hero tripped and forgot everything and he needs to learn his skills. This doesn't work at our games. So you need to have this historical background. All these things that most of the NPC you will meet in the game really existed in that time and really did the things that we are going to show. So if we make it wrong, some LARP, some living history guys will point the fingers at us and say, you liar, you something. And that's not like our big game, big goal is it to make it as historically accurate as possible. And that requires a lot of research, that requires a lot of discussions with historians, with universities. Adam was already mentioning it. Yeah. Our team is filled with a lot of professors and university guys in our really people who are researching either, let's say, historical things or sword combat, or Adam is researching music and gaming experience. We have mathematics here in our team who
artificial intelligence, right? Yeah.
Who are doing artificial intelligence. So that's like really the mixture, or that's where video games are somehow connected with education and research and science and science. So I think that's really interesting, and that's something new, and we have to see how people will like it, because this game I think is, even though it sounds very cool, I think it's not an easy thing to understand or it's because it's not that grabby. If you hear FIFA, you already know what you get. If you hear Assassin's Creed, you know what you get. Oh, yeah. If you hear historical accurate medieval RPG, then it's like, okay, you have to adapt. What's that? What will happen? What awaits?
Introduce the universe, pretty much.
Yes, that's right. We have to introduce the universe. We have to teach the gamer that you can't button smash, but you need to actually react to your opponent, as I said in the beginning, and I think that's a huge challenge. But that makes it even more motivating for us. So that's what we are doing.
Could you guys walk us through just an idea of what one quest might look like? Maybe a short one, just like what kind of things do you do? How do you interact?
We have I would say that Henry, the guy you will reincarnate in, he is given, his face is given, and his background is also given, because, as I said, we need to explain all this stuff. But the way he's going to act and react and behave is up to you. So if you want him to fight all the time, you can do that. If you want him to be, you can even try to avoid fighting as much as possible. Even though you can't.
Dave. That's Dave's way of playing.
You can't avoid it totally, most likely, but you can try to negotiate. And the quests are more, I would say like a mixture of like an action adventure. Maybe you will have a lot of. There will, for example, right now we are in the alpha stage. Alpha stage 5 will be released in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and the quests there are just showcases of features and how the game should work and where are we aiming at. And there is a lot of adventurous try to investigate why this happened and who did what, and then you try to actually, for example, in our game, someone is very sick and he's like puking and he has the runs and he's always saying that he's shitting blood. He's claiming that someone from the pub or the pub the main lady from the pub that that she poisoned him by Nasval.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That she poisoned him on purpose, and you need to investigate. You need to try to find out the clues. You need to find out who did what. You can actually say, you can go to the bailiff and say it's her fault, and show some facts, and the bailiff will actually take her to prison. But in the end, you will know that it wasn't her at all. So there are a lot of points of no return. There are a lot of like decisions you can make. There's a lot of moral things. We also want to have another safe load, let's say, experience for the gamer, because we want to bonus the gamer who's not loading. That means that if you're not saving and the longer you play, the better stats or something you will get. So it's a reward for not loading. That means we don't want you to save load all the time if you, for example, can't open a chest or something, but you will get some kind of bonus if you don't do that. So as I said,
that's pretty cool.
That's gonna be really hard for Dave.
That's the quest. I can't give you an example of a quest because it's really up to you how you solve it. You can either immediately after the guy Jerry says he's got poisoned, you can immediately say it was Marietta who poisoned him. Take her to jail, or you can try to investigate. You can throw him to jail. You can try to cure him. You can do whatever you want with him. Of course, given by the story somehow. So you have just like you can't do like kill or burn down the pub or something like that, but like you can, for example, kill nearly every NPC. So you can even try to kill the entire map. But
right, so you start one quest and you are solving the quest, and someone else gives you another quest. You realize that there is another quest to work at. Yeah. And so these things.
But that also means that you can close some quests, or you will never actually know that you missed some quest. For example, we already thought about timed quest in the game. That, for example, someone comes and say, "Oh, let's go. We have to kill those bandits immediately." So let's meet there in the evening or something like that. Mm-hmm. So now, what's the question? What will we do? Will we do the same as every other game where someone is waiting you for 10 days or something like that for you actually to come, or won't we do that? And will we do some kind of like simulating playing the game itself? That means if you don't actually come, the game will somehow solve the quest itself, and you will either not get any reward, or some other quest will be locked or something like that. So it's like up to you, as I said, what you are doing and what you are aiming for.
I guess I know that I'm going to be running around frantically then trying to absorb every quest I can get my hands on, just running as fast as I can.
So it's important to you that players not try to cheat the system. They don't try to constantly reload saves to get the best outcome. You want them, even if they make a mistake, to play through it and have the world react to that, instead of them trying to just get the perfect playthrough, because there isn't a perfect playthrough. There's just different ones for each player.
Yes. Yeah. I call it a feature. Like I call it a feature when I say that every action the player does calls a proper reaction. Mm-hmm. So if you choose to rob a caravan, for example, the shopkeepers in the cities won't have anything to sell, so they have to raise the prices, or they will run out of items or something like that. So I call it a feature when I say that. So if you, for example, kill the innkeeper, she will will be closed, and the people can't go there anymore because there's no innkeeper, of course. So there you have you have to wait until the game respawns a new innkeeper who will then travel to this place and overtake this story. And yeah, I call this a feature because I think that's really like a reactive world.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Sounds like real life.
But the interesting thing is that the NPCs see you like another NPC. Like you are no Dragonborn, you are no superhero. If you come somewhere, you are like a regular NPC for them. That means the world and the NPCs work without you. The game technically plays itself because they don't wait for you to do something. All the NPCs have a daily cycle, for example. So in the morning they get up, they wash themselves, they get some breakfast, they will take their tools and go to work. After work they go to lunch, to dinner, whatever. And in the evening there's a slot for, let's say, free time. That means that the NPC can freely choose what to do. Let's say play backgammon, go to the pub, go fishing, go do something. And the NPC, depending of the experience he made, let's say he went to the pub and he got beaten up by the player, for example, he will remember that and it will get some kind of minus, like imaginary minus. And the next time he's about to choose what to do in the evening, he will most likely not go anymore to the pub. So he will rather go somewhere else. And that's funny because in my game, for example, it might be possible that Jerry is like the biggest drinker of the entire map, and in your game, it's possible that he's not drinking at all. So it's like the game is like, that's maybe what you said earlier with the simulation. That like the game is simulating inside of itself, but we are not simulating the medieval times. It's like. It's very complicated, but you see it
makes sense.
That's the academic part of it.
I really like that you guys aren't throwing in dragons and elves and everything that most fantasy RPGs try to do. Is just kind of the normal stuff that people do in those games, and I like that you're trying to make a game that's more like this is actually what life would have been like. This is the real world this game exists in. From everything from the quest design to the world kind of existing with or without the player's input, people going about doing their own stuff, and then not having dragons and elves and everything else. Not many people try to do games like that. So that automatically makes me very interested to try your game because, I like normal medieval fantasy RPGs with the dragons and elves and everything, but we've all played 2 dozen of them, and some of them are very good, but not many people have made a game like yours, and I'm very excited to try something like that. Now, if you guys wouldn't mind talking about the graphics a little bit, your game looks gorgeous. I remember we saw a trailer for it around E3, and I think we were all very impressed when we saw it. It looks really, really good. So how has working with CryEngine, right? You're doing this game on CryEngine?
Right.
How has that been? Do you like working with CryEngine? Like, is it demanding, or is it a pretty easy to work with engine?
Well, actually, I'm probably not the best person to ask about graphics because I'm a musician, right? And I'm a sound guy, one of the sound guys. But yeah, it's been great working with CryEngine. A lot of things are already in there. It's true that a lot of things are not in there, so we did have to do, let's say, heavy customization of a lot of things. But it's been a really nice experience working with Crytek, on this. So we are in a close cooperation with them in this.
Yes, it's important to know. Like we decided years ago before we actually started to think about the game thinking about the game, we decided which engine we are going with, and we decided that we go with CryEngine. Just even though it was made for first-person corridor shooters, and like they are not used to daily day and night cycles, they're not used to hundreds of NPCs, they're not used to this simulation stuff in the background, and that's where our boys and girls step in because the engine is awesome, of course, the graphics are really stunning, but our guys need to heavily adjust it in nearly every term, like all the simulation stuff, all the day and night cycles, and that's where our guys step in. Here, Adam, for example, needs to create his own, let's say, music tool to actually makes all this work in the CryEngine. So yes, it's an awesome tool, of course. It's very handy. I don't work with it. Adam is working with it, but it needs a lot of adjustment and a lot of customization from our side. But yeah, we, as Adam said, we are in good contact with the guys from Germany, and
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask, how far along are you guys, or how long have you guys been in development of the project, and do you see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, there's a release date, right? Set pretty much. So
Yes. Like
So
it's
we do see
hard
that.
to say when we started. I always say we started right after Kickstarter, even though that's not totally true. Basically, this company exists. This game was born in a pub. Yeah? Dan Barbara was drinking with his friends and said, "How about we make a story, a game about?" And this is how actually this all started. He was working for 2K and for the Mafia thing, and he decided to quit that job and to go his own dream. Let's say it like that. And so technically, this game exists, or this idea exists since 2012. Practically, as I think, because I don't know if you know our Kickstarter story. It's a bit of a sad but also happy story in the end. Do you know the story?
No, we don't. Go ahead and tell us.
Actually, the game was, like, the idea was we want to make a huge game, a huge game with a huge map, with a huge story, and this should be sold. We wanted to sell this to a publisher, name whatever you want, and then we are just locking ourselves into some basement, and after 3 years we shit out the awesome game, and the publisher will. And this was the idea at the first moment, and then we created, like, we've done Barbara, and it was a team of 15 or 20 people, not very big, but big enough to actually make this idea happen. And they created some kind of prototype and went from publisher to publisher to actually sell this idea, this project. And everyone and we nearly met nearly every publisher in the world. Like, really, they made a world map and drove from country to country, from America, Japan, Germany, Asia, other European countries. Like, really a huge trip. And everyone was saying, like, wow, awesome, cool, but we don't know, because that time it was still in PlayStation 3 times. There were no PS4 and Xbox One, and the publisher were very, very afraid of the new consoles. They didn't trust the console. They thought there won't be any success, and that's also why there are nearly no real PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games, if you think about it. And now it's starting to happen, but in that time when they should start to produce those games, they didn't, because they were afraid of it. Anyway, they said, like, because we said that we want this extremely high graphic standards because of, like, the immersion level. Since we don't have magic and stuff, we want at least have this high immersion, so the player actually feels he's, like, really standing in a Bohemian forest. And they said, awesome idea, but we don't know, because right now dragons are awesome and magic is awesome. The PS4 and Xbox One, we don't know. And also they make this waiting tactics. They offered something, of course, and they said, let's wait till Christmas. But on Christmas they said, Christmas times is not so easy. Let's wait to E3, and then E3 needs a lot of preparation, so let's wait after. So they wanted us to slowly bleed down, which actually happened. So we are like it was really close to closing the studio, because there were, like, money ran out. Dan and Martin Klima, both of the founders, they really put their own private money into it, and it was, like, draining everything, and it was, like, really, really depressive. And then, by lucky chance, because a friend of a friend knows a friend, and his friend was a Czech investor, and this investor said, like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't know that much about computer games. So I need some kind of proof or a business case or something like that to actually have something to know why to invest. So we thought that Kickstarter might be actually the best idea or the best chance to show, to either look if the game has, if there's some audience who actually want this game, and of course to show the investor that there's a business case, that it makes sense to invest into this project. So we went on Kickstarter. it was on February 2014. Yes. So as I said, already 2 years of existing and prototyping and trying and pitching and nothing worked. And in February 2014, we asked for 300,000 British pounds and had these pounds in 48 hours. And after 1 month, we had 1.1 million pounds.
Wow.
And that's where I think, my personal opinion, where Warhorse and Kingdom Come Deliverance started. So it's March 2014. We hired a lot of people from 25. We are now at 80 and still hiring. Today we have a new community manager at our studio. So we're still hiring. That shit is going to become real.
So for you guys, kind of like the Kickstarter was like the validation, like people really do want this and they're excited about this. It was like the turning point for you guys.
Yes.
That is an awesome story.
Yes, Kickstarter was for us actually like the proof or the point of surviving. Let's say it like that. If Kickstarter failed, there won't be any Warhorse Studios. No, the investor wouldn't invest, and because in many, I don't want to say any bad things about anyone, but a lot of projects on Kickstarter will happen anyway. If they get funded or not, they will happen anyway.
Yeah.
But in our like special example, it was like friss oder stirb, we say in Germany. It's like eat or die. And we ate. We got a big piece of meat, and now we are working. Even though, like, of course, this for a AAA game of this like size and this like effort we put inside, that's just a that's a drop on the hot stone. But still, like, we are now working. The crowdfunding is still working on our homepage, but also the investor is stepping in, of course. And now, as I said, things are already shaping. We are very proud that we are already in alpha stage, which we started in October 2014. So after half a year, we could actually give something playable, which is very important because we are very, very, very close connected to our community, since we are, of course, crowdfunded. And in October, we started with the alpha. Next October, in the end of of October this year, after 1 year, we are in alpha 0.5. That means we have already the combat, we have already alchemy, we have already a relatively living world with the NPCs and the daily cycles. In the next alpha, there will be stealth and perception, so you can sneak around, you can do stealth kills and stuff like that. So things are shaping, and the estimated release is summer 2016. Oh, the 100% release is summer 2016, because we estimated it for this winter, December most likely, but we learned from other studios and other projects that it's sometimes better to like polish it a bit more than to release it too fast. So
we appreciate that.
But we asked our community first, like what they think about that. Like we asked, of course, the investor, of course, but we also gathered feedback from the community, and nearly 99.9% said do it. So that's like where we are extremely proud of our community, really helping us, and they're even contributing to the game, and that's again important because, for example, we had, just because the CryEngine could do this, we had brown and white chicken in the game running around. Just by default, put chickens in the cities to make it, or in the village. And some of the community members started to rage mail us, like, why the hell are there white chickens in Bohemia in the 15th century? Because white chickens were bred way later in the centuries and didn't exist in the year 1400 something. And it was like, okay, interesting. So,
wow. Come on, why didn't you guys talk to a chicken expert before you put chickens in? Come on, guys.
Yes,
That's
really.
That's like our miss, but now we are chicken experts.
So, what platforms are you planning on releasing the game onto?
That's PC, that's Xbox, right? That's PS4.
Yes.
And Mac and Linux, right?
Mac and Linux.
Right.
Like
Eventually.
PC, Xbox One, and PS4 are for sure, and we had on the plan to make it on Linux and Mac. It's like the CryEngine supports it, but it's on the priority level. It's like lower level.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We need to focus on the PC and the consoles first, and then we'll see. There's like since we are allowing, we will also release modding tools and want to actually work together with the modding community. Like there's plenty of options later after we release the game, so why not?
Do you have a build working on PS4 at all yet?
We have a build on Xbox One. We
One.
are working on the Xbox One build right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because-
So no Nintendo Wii U. So I'm not going to keep my hopes up for that.
Okay, like a sort.
Now, we don't want to keep you guys all day. I know you got to get back to work. But Adam, could you tell us just a bit about what you do? You mentioned that you work on sound. Is that correct?
That's right. I'm one of the sound guys here at the company. I work with actually we're 3 people involved in the audio mainly, and one is the main composer Jan Balta. He's writing most of the music, like vast majority of the music, and then and then we have Vojta Nedvěd, who is responsible for all the Foley art for all the sound art. So all the sounds that you're going to hear in the music are let's say made in house. That's kind of
that is like swords colliding with
everything,
armor,
like all the
birds and animals. And the fun thing is that he has his microphones always with him, and And when there's a thunderstorm or something outside, he's like, I need to go outside. I need to.
That sounds like my brother. He does professional sound design, like movies and stuff like that. So he's always bringing a mic with him.
Yes.
My responsibility is pretty much, I'm the technical musician on the team, sort of. So that's I'm responsible for linking the game with the music. So basically, well, the other way around, linking music with the game, so that the music responds to the game. It is supposed to be. I am involved in the design process. We are designing the content of all the music so that we can support all the things which are happening in the game. So we had to make some decisions which situations we wish to support. Actually, there should be, if everything goes right, there will be a demo of our work in the next alpha. Because we're going to have combat, let's say, fully supported by music. So you will be able to tell from the music that your opponent is getting weaker, and these kinds of things, right? So we're not the first team ever to start with this adaptive music notion, but we are trying to contribute in the way that we will have a fully scored orchestral soundtrack.
Wow.
Which means, all the music, well, most of the music will be orchestral. Some of it will be recorded by the live orchestra, but some of it, not all of it, but everything is like scored, and that makes the thing challenging, because if you want to have a seamless flow of music, which has been scored and which has been produced like that or recorded like that, that is a challenge.
Yeah, that's
great.
Go ahead.
As he said, it will be in the next alpha, so you can try to listen to it. And that's but that's interesting, because the gamer is now some kind of a composer, right? Because depending on how the gamer is playing, the music will adapt to it, and it sounds really awesome when Adam is showing it to them. We have every 4 to 6 weeks we have some milestone meeting where we present all the new features, and when Adam comes with his keyboard, he's like, and it's like really awesome when you have this different tracks. But he's able to seamlessly connect them, right. So you even don't hear the connection. I think that's awesome, because that's like
you can hear the change, but you cannot hear that it has not been produced that way.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it was like it's a huge song which was timed that like
wow.
the gamers.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, let's hope.
No, that sounds really incredible. So if people Where should our listeners go if they want to find out more about the game? Obviously, there's your website, which to everyone listening to this, we'll have all the links to that in the description of this video and audio. But where should people go? Is there a blog, or would you prefer to send people to the YouTube channel? Like, how should they stay the most up to date with the game?
Well, kingdomcomerpg.com.
Yes, we have our homepage is www.kingdomcomerpg.com.
Okay.
And that's our homepage where you actually can get the alpha too. So if you still, it's a pledging system. So if you pledge, you can get the alpha, the beta, and some merchandise and some cool stuff. But if you want to be informed from time to time, I guess the best platform is either Facebook. I serve them all. So Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I guess we will prepare a new video. Actually, we hired new video guys in our studio, 2 of them. So our idea was to create more video content to show like live from the studio, from the inside, to show more about the actual development, something like making of, and show new features and stuff like that. So most likely the YouTube channel will get a lot more content in near future, and Facebook, Twitter, of course, Warhorse Studios on Facebook or on Twitter is a good place to get actual information. Or our forum, which you can also find off kingdomcomerpg.com, and it's also very interesting there because there's a lot of, let's say, intellectual conversations. No, really, like, that's like, that sounds funny, but it's like, since it's a historical game and people want that historical game, they're actually discussing about historical topics. So they're talking about different like types of armor, different types of swords, if it's possible to have this kind of sword or not, because it was later or earlier or something. So it's like really interesting, and it's really educational, because even Dan, who's the creative director, who's supposed to write the story and the dialogues and everything, he also goes to our own forum and asks the community. Like really, for example, what was the last poll? I think, was it about dungeon crawling? I think I can't remember. Or the safe load, something. He's asking, for example, about dungeon crawling. Do you like it? Do you think it's an ugly filler, or do you don't care? And depending on what they say, he will either throw it out or he will add it to the game. So. And I think they don't want dungeon crawler at all, so there won't be any dungeon crawler. So, yeah. So that's,
I guess the real question is, guys, how many chicken debate threads can we expect on the forums? Like, is that something we can participate in?
I'm actually starting one right now.
Hopefully, we don't have any white chickens anymore. So the chicken issue is solved.
You say that now.
There will be more. Right now we have orange carrots. That's a problem too, because orange carrots breeded way later. In time.
Come on, guys! Why didn't you talk to carrot experts before you put them in there? Like, this game's gonna fail.
We have
carrot colors on.
And you're like, and that's why we have dragons in other games. You're like, screw this! I'm not gonna. This.
That's right. Where did he came from? Yeah, from some dimension, and it already closed, so you can't see it, and that's so sad.
But as soon as you say no, this is going to be historically accurate, people are like, oh, well then you got to change the carrots. The chickens are all wrong.
But as I said, like, we are making jokes now. But as I said, it's about the balance, because you can't never be 100% accurate, never.
Right.
Like right now, I would guess like 50-50 or something like that, or 64. Like it's, for example, you have houses, and the houses in the medieval times were relatively standard houses. So nearly all of them had the same size. But the size, if you adapt it to our game, was too small, because the NPCs couldn't properly walk there inside. They were colliding. They couldn't turn around and stuff. So we had to make the houses bigger, for example, or pole arms. We have different types of weapons, but the pole arms has the lowest priority, because they have a lot of problems bringing with them. Because if you pull out the pole arm inside a house, you are colliding with the roof. So that's like a lot of physical and problems you will have with this. So this is something which most likely will appear in later parts of the game and later acts.
Or with the music, for example, because we wanted to be historically accurate there as well. But then in 1400s, in let's say early 1400s, you wouldn't have a lot of music, written yet at that point, right? So we had to, we are operating on certain level of a creative license here, but we try to keep that to a minimum. Right?
Yes.
Well, it sounds
I think people come to expect that in movies and games. I mean, they have I'm willing to accept this much is not necessarily historically accurate to make it work. I mean, you see that all the time in films and stuff.
Yeah.
So
It is accurate, right?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah. But once you cross that threshold of this is real enough to where I can feel immersed and it's not going to break the experience, I think that's awesome.
I will, guys, show you a very good video we made. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Combat Presentation, and that pretty much showcases. It showcases our combat, how we approached combat system, why we did things like we did it. But if you take this video, you can apply this on nearly everything we do in our game.
Right.
So we had in our studio, we have our own motion capture studio, but we invited real swordman masters, real guys who are doing this historical fighting sport. And we talked with them. We asked them how did they fight, and we like really went into detail and invited those people to actually. They got the mocap suit with the funny dots everywhere, and then he showed us how we actually fight. And we put this into the game. So the combat system or the combat style you can play in the game should be as historically accurate as possible, which was never showcased in any other game before. So, and that's something the gamer maybe must learn, because it's not only button mashing anymore. It's about choosing the right angle from where you want to attack. If you want to attack the lower parts, if you want to go to the head, if you want to do the side, if you can't jump into the fight anymore. You need to do some management, at least stamina management, because you need stamina for everything, for attacking, for blocking, for walking, for whatever. So Muhammad Ali always said, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And that's exactly how you need to fight. You need to go to the opponent, slash him, go back, wait for his attack, then go back again and run around him. And that's how you fight. You can't just run into the crowd and button match. Dave is now driving away with his cool motorbike.
We just had a lawnmower pass us here in the car.
Oh, I was wondering who that was.
we were just literally out in the car, just sweating.
Dave's driving to the airport to fly there.
Yeah, I'm on the way right now, guys.
Thank you guys very much for taking the time to talk to us. We won't keep you any longer. We promise we keep you this amount of time, so we will let you go. But we are going to put all the links to your studio and stuff in the description of this video for everyone who wants to follow you to keep up with updates. Obviously, we'll be following you because this sounds like one of the most interesting RPGs that I'm looking forward to in the next year or two. Like I play like one or two big RPGs every year, and this sounds like it's going to be the next one I'm excited about because it's different, it's unique, it's something I haven't really gotten a chance to play. I got a small taste of it with Mountain Blade years ago, but I mean, your game sounds like it's going to be much bigger, much better. You know, Mountain Blade was a much older game, so it's not fair to compare them at this point. But it seems
I would never say bigger or better or something like that. It's different.
It's different. I mean, like it's taking the same. Like I like the idea of Mountain Blade, but this sounds like you're trying to do a much bigger, different thing with it. Whereas the games, I understand you don't want to say one's better or not, but it sounds like it's going to give me that feeling I got with Mountain Blade, but on a bigger, more story-driven scale. So that sounds awesome. But thank you guys very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
This sounds really, really exciting, and we will probably be trying to have you on again closer to the game's release to talk about updates and everything else. So thank you guys for coming out.
I appreciate you guys. Good luck on development.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you to Toby and Adam for taking their time to talk to us. And we hope you guys enjoyed the interview. And you should look on me and Dave's channels for videos that we are making about the game. We are pretty dang excited. So
I'm pretty excited.
All that out.
I really, really enjoyed that interview a lot.
Yeah,
I like
really
anything that you get like not necessarily just an insider perspective of that game, but like there's like, I don't know, if you don't make a game and you see like developers having problems with, whatever stuff it may be. What was the one question, Dave, that we asked them? I forgot. We asked them something about
when it started.
It was something like that, but there was something that they came back and they were like, I don't know, just their answer was very unique, and it was not what I expected. I just was not
we got some actual like war stories.
Yeah, like
from
that
development.
was fascinating.
Well, when we asked when they started development on it, I mean, they gave us kind of an interesting timeline when they actually kind of started thinking of the idea to when they actually got funding to really start working on it. So we found kind of all the history of how the game came about.
It's definitely a labor of love, and I've been pretty impressed. I've played about an hour and a half of it so far. The biggest thing I was impressed by, and then we'll move on, like Dave, if you want to throw something in too. Go check out the videos on our channels if you want to hear us talk more about it. But it's very realistic looking. Like, it's CryEngine, which is gorgeous, but it's not like The Witcher, where it's still very stylized. Mm-hmm. Like, when the sun was setting, it was like, oh, that looks right. And when it was midday, I was like, yep. This is about what it would look like. Like, if you ignore the alpha graphical issues, I'd say it's one of the most realistic games I've seen. Like, it's right up there with Arma as far as, hey, when the lighting's boring, the lighting's boring. Like, this is what stuff looks like. Like, this is just how it works. What'd you think?
Yeah, I actually talked about it in my video, comparing it to The Witcher specifically. The Witcher is like a fantasy medieval setting, so there's still, some crazy architecture. There's magic and monsters and stuff like that. But here, everything is very... I don't want to use the word bland, but very just kind of gray and subdued and primitive. Like, it really feels like, the way that I described it was like you had just showed up at like a medieval fair and like you're watching all the reenactors live as the people would have actually lived. It feels so authentic and just very straightforward. It's really impressive what they've done.
When you play a lot of those medieval type games, it's usually the sky's all beautiful and like the little butterflies are flying off the grass and stuff like that. It's just kind of like surreal. And for a game that's really focusing on historical accuracy, I think to do that would have been a little against the goal of the game. And so
been distracting.
They want you to feel like you're actually living as part of history. Visually too.
You guys talking about the lighting. That's actually one of the reasons why I really enjoyed the Rapture game. Came out on PS4 recently. Like, I really love games that have fantasy kind of lighting and stuff like that. But that was something that hit me with Half-Life 2 when it came out, was that the lighting didn't have overly bloom type stuff. It was kind of more like regular lighting for a lot of the indoor environments, stuff like that. It was bland. It was just kind of like, oh, here's a hallway, And those kind of games are always, I think, are really impressive, and especially seeing Unreal Engine 4 stuff. The stuff you sent me today was really cool, but it didn't look that realistic. It looked amazing, like CGI stuff, but like everybody's gone to the Rapture, and this game I've watched Dave play some. Yeah, the lighting's just really interesting because it looks more like you're there. It's not like always sunset and glowing everywhere. The Rapture game does have lots of different environments and lighting because it changes all over the place, but there's some really just boring lighting, I guess, just midday stuff that feels really convincing at parts. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. That's got to add a lot to the gameplay.
But now it's time for the news.
Ready, James? 1, 2, 3. News time! You didn't join me, James. You didn't join me.
Yeah, thank you for just leaving Joel out there on a limb there, James.
Well, we didn't even practice, so it's kind of hard to pick a harmony when I don't know where he's going to start.
All right. So, Dave, what's your news item this week?
So this one was really neat. This caught my eye. A post from Reddit. There was a couple, husband and wife, who are really into city skylines, which I can identify with. And they're big into like the reproducing real cities kind of gameplay, like where you get a real height map of like your town or like your favorite city and whatnot. And you try to recreate all the roads in the city for it. Well,
they have jobs. I mean, you could like be a civil engineer or something and actually do that for money.
But here, James, you can do it and then flood your city afterwards with no consequences. Just load your save, which is actually what they did. They were recreating their hometown and were recreating like their street. And there was a house that they were looking at buying. Like they had looked at it a few times. They really, really liked it. They were going through the process of buying this house.
In the real world.
In the real world, and discovered in their City Skylines version that it was in a floodplain when they flooded the city for fun. Like completely in the floodplain. Like, danger zone. You're paying too much for this property. It's in a floodplain. Yeah, we discovered that the house we were going to buy was in an A1 flood zone. It had not been disclosed to us by the sellers, but in the city skylines map, it was actually underwater. Seeing that made us go to City Hall and do some research that we wouldn't have done otherwise, and saved us from a house that could have been destroyed in the next big hurricane. Like, how crazy is that? Their obsession with city skylines helped them not buy a house that was in a floodplain.
I smell a freelance opportunity for you, Dave. Potential home buyers, I'll model your entire neighborhood and I'll flood it.
They come back like thousands of dollars, and months later, and Dave's like, okay, so yeah, your home's over there in the corner, but let me show you the interesting things I've been doing for the rest of the city when it comes to transportation. They're like,
look how I've improved the interstate system. There's a whole new ferry system over here.
And they're like, we were thinking about maybe a fence. And
but look at the nightlife. There's like an own tax set up for the nightlife.
All right, my news item. Okay, Black Friday deals. Most of them suck. Most of them are a little bit of a deal, and then there are a couple really good ones designed to make you buy more stuff than you were planning on it. It's basic human psychology, don't be fooled by it, etc., etc. But Microsoft actually has a really amazing deal this Black Friday. They are going to be selling an Xbox One, the Gears of War Xbox One bundle, which normally sells for $350. They're going to be selling that with Fallout 4 and an extra controller for $300.
That is insane.
That is $120 of extra stuff, and they're selling the bundle for $50 cheap. Like, basically, it's an $170 discount if you wanted all of that stuff. That is an amazing deal. If you liked enough of those games, that this is something you might have bought anyway. Like, if you don't like any of those games, it's not a really good thing. But
then you're wrong.
But that is a crazy good deal. It's obvious that Microsoft wants to pick up a lot of Sony's market share. Like, there's no other reason they would be doing this. But they deserve it. That is seriously impressive. So that's good on them. If you've been thinking about getting an Xbox One, this is the best deal.
Halo 5's coming out right now. So, if you're thinking about picking up that up, that's a really good price.
And this is probably the best deal they've done since the E3 one, where if you trade in your Xbox 360, they'll give you like $150 or $175 towards an Xbox One. Like, this is probably the best thing since then. So, all right, Joel, what's your item?
Xbox controller adapter for Windows 10. I saw that. I was like, kind of sucks that it's not for anything else but Windows 10, just because I don't want to upgrade just yet. But anyways, the adapter can connect 8 controllers and 4 chat devices. Now, I thought this is really cool that it can do that. I don't really see many PC players having that many controllers connected. I don't know what game you can use for 8, but even with 4, although with Steam machine type stuff, if that ends up being anything worth it while, that'd be cool. Now you can have 4 controllers connected.
Yeah, I think, 8 controllers. 4 headsets.
Yeah, 8, but at least, but 4 chat devices, that's pretty cool too. So
yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. And I'm curious, can they only be like Xbox One chat devices, or will there be a little more?
Probably
options?
Xbox chat, because it goes with the wireless adapter. So
probably, but
my question is, what are they chatting with? Like, do they all stream through the same one channel? Like, I don't know how that works on PC.
Yeah, that should be theoretically possible. Well, on PC, typically that's not a thing you do. Like, you don't normally run 2 different. You could, in theory, run 2 different copies of Teamspeak, each of them having a different mic input, but like, you're starting to get into weird, why are you doing this things?
Yeah, but I guess it would all go one way, because even on console, if Joy has PS Plus, and she would just be chatting with all of us. So I guess it would just. Yeah.
The easier thing in that case would just be you have a one mic set out, and then you all just wear headphones on a splitter, and then you can all just talk into one mic. Like, all the different chat devices, I'm not sure why you do that if you're all on the same computer, unless you're playing with a bunch of different people. Basically, we have no idea how you're going to use this with the maximum number of things it supports. Probably most of the time it would be 2 controllers, maybe 3 or 4 controllers, maybe 1 or 2 chat devices, but it's cool that it supports it. And it's only like $25 for the adapter, which is pretty impressive. All right, James, what's your item?
So the latest rumor is that the Nintendo NX will have a industry-leading processor in it, which
industry?
What
time of industry? What time of leading?
The fastest Nintendo processor ever.
Yeah, so it's supposed to actually according to Insider, it's supposed to be faster than PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah. And they're reconfirming the console / hybrid mobile device, which I think could be cool for them. But I don't know about the industry leading standard. I mean, they said that the Wii U would be more powerful than the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And I don't think that was the case.
No, like maybe for some of the first party stuff they could get that out, but yeah, we don't.
Some of the ports look worse.
Mass Effect 3 that came to it, it didn't look as good as Mass Effect 3 on the PS3.
Yeah.
Or Xbox, which was like it was roughly pretty much about the same, no different. I don't think the NX has to be that much more powerful than the PS4 to stay relevant. I think they need to be easily within the realm of what other third-party developers can easily develop for. They can't be that. But I think, honestly, what hurt them more is not necessarily the graphics, is that gamepad, I think, was cool for some people, but I think it was overall just a bomb. It was way behind, like, tablets. It wasn't a good tablet. And the only thing I'm scared about with the whole controller, like, it'd be cool to have a 3DS, but then just go, I can use the 3DS with the actual system. Except I don't want them to sacrifice the controller experience just so I can bring it around in the car where I go. I would hate that. I want good triggers.
I think they could do both, honestly. If they kept their mobile experience to just mobile type games. So say it did have some kind of touch screen, but it was smaller, like maybe even the size of the Vita.
Yeah.
I think would be a little more realistic than the gargantuan Wii U controller.
I just want analog joysticks or like analog thumb, triggers and stuff like that. No one could do a good racing game on the Wii, like, other than Mario Kart, but like nothing that would be sim related because you can't, it's just on or off. So it really was the crappier experience.
All right. Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Apparently, according to Wall Street Journal, the development kits have been sent to third parties. So maybe it's legit. Maybe it's real.
We'll find out.
There's also a rumor of an HD re-release of Twilight Princess, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's come on, guys. Let's get the console out first, guys. You're already trading on the.
Well, it didn't say for the NX. It just said will be released.
Period. Okay, all right.
I mean, honestly, if they took the Wii U and just did a bunch of HD re-releases, I would probably be happy at this point because they're not making anything else.
Yeah, just want games. Like, it doesn't Pong, Pac-Man. That's fine. It's something we can play.
An HD remake of Super Mario 64, but with like maybe a few new levels, like co-op or something like that. That would be awesome.
I'm surprised that game hasn't gotten an HD remake.
I know.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been 20 years. Does anyone care?
I bet because it's probably too hard for most people to play now because Mario Galaxy's got to be. This is where the stars are.
No, I mean, I've watched my son play, and it's not that
64.
Yeah.
All right, so this next thing is interesting. Sapphire makes some of the best AMD graphics cards. So they're a hardware manufacturer. That's pretty much most of what they do, or they're a reseller. But they make really, really good coolers, and their cards are some of the best ones. Dave, you're making an inquisitive face. Do you need to cut in there?
Nope.
Okay.
I just want to cut in real quick and say, it sounds like you have 2 news items, and we all got 1.
I put general interest news items. I always put those after the rest of them.
Yeah, guys, the video card news totally isn't Jeremiah's.
No. This is not video card news. This isn't video card news.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
They posted a blog post on their website called "To Pre-Order or Not? That is the Question." And this lines up really heavily with a lot of the things I feel about pre-orders. And I'm not attacking you guys on pre-orders tonight, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm going to read just a couple excerpts. So this is, all the words are from them. They say, gaming pre-orders are something that has been with us for some time. We used to have pre-orders back in the day, so you could make sure when the limited number of copies hit your local store, you for sure had one on release day. Back then, you did not need to pay full price for that pre-order. You paid a $5 retainer, and when the game arrived, you just paid the rest. Today, pre-orders have changed a lot, and this is specifically talking about PC games, because that's what they're involved in. We do not need to worry about games selling out, as we do not have physical limits on copies. Today's games for your PC are distributed via online downloads, and the limit to the number of copies is not created by production or shipping costs, but rather by how many key codes a computer can generate. And I'm going to skim over some stuff now. So they're saying, instead of us paying a small retainer to ensure we got a copy, we are now asked to fork over full price for the game, often many months in advance. We do not get early access, but in essence, we are paying for the privilege of doing the quality assurance work the developer should be paying people to do. You may think that the concept of paid beta testers sounds odd, but it's not. Again, it was not all that long ago that companies took applications for beta testers and then would reward the small number selected with a free copy of the game for their efforts. So then, skimming down, before, when you prepaid, the game was delivered to you whole. You got a boxed set, complete with physical manuals. You might have to patch in the first few weeks, but the game, most often, was just fine right out of the box. When you paid, you had a set on-shelf date and delays, though few, but when they happened, you were only out $5 until the game arrived. Having a game in early beta sounds neat and cool, but as a longtime beta tester, I can tell you it is not. You get the joy of dealing with broken game code, and after months of playing the game in a broken form, you finally get burned out or frustrated, and the finished game no longer holds the same joy you would have had if you had just played from the release instead. What's worse, even with thousands of people in the so-called beta, the quality of the released games today are well below the quality of beta games back in the day. Recently, you paid $50 6 months in advance, and the last 3 months had you waiting through a beta of releases. And within an hour of that release, a patch that is 33% the size of the finished game needs to be downloaded to enjoy it. And then they talk about the stupid DLC pre-orders and season passes and the different DLC packages you can choose from. So they talk about that for a little bit. So then they close out by saying, the point of this article should be clear, but let me summarize. Prepay was about making sure you could get a product on launch. This has been bastardized by the developers and producers to now be about funding the game and then giving you the privilege of giving them a free workforce for their QA. There's nothing about the current prepay model that helps or is good for PC gamers. How do we fix this? It's easy. We just stop pre-ordering. We, the PC gamers, can actually fix this issue. We just hold our money. We wait for the game to release. We wait for the reviews of the released game. If there are early patches needed, we wait for those to fix the issues. We hold our money until we are given a complete game and can play the finished product. The question should not be to pre-order or not. The question should be, are you an enabler of a broken system that hurts PC gaming, or will you stand up and say enough is enough? What do you think?
I mean, I absolutely agree.
Except for the pre-orders you do?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, obviously, except for the pre-orders, I do. But I think it's so hard though for society to not, because everybody wants it now. I mean, there's almost no one that goes, "No, I'll have it later." I'm totally, like I don't want to try, because it's like, let's say you don't do it, right? But someone else picks it up. Oh, dude, it's so much fun, Because I think this is the biggest reason I think DayZ is gonna end up failing down the road. Like, it's going to just dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. Not going to be a great game, because people are just seeing one little tiny tidbit that's really good, and then lots of kind of bad stuff. And so all they're seeing, so like I was telling Dave, like every new update that comes out, people go right to the only good part, and they're not experiencing the whole game as a whole anymore. So by the time the game comes out, you've kind of seen everything. I would say it's like, I don't know, if they drip feed a movie that you enjoy seeing, only 15 seconds each. It'd be hard to be like, oh, I want to see the 15 seconds, but by the time you've seen the whole movie, then it's like, well, I've already seen it. I think it's hard to enjoy, but I think it's just so hard for people to not do that. And that's why I think a lot of the alpha, like early access games, are just not helpful at all. There's some, I think 2D games are literally the only games that work well for early access.
Well, here's the thing, I'll disagree with you there. A lot of indie developers, every interview I've read where they talk about early access, a lot of indie developers say that is invaluable. I think there's a big difference between indie developers and AAA developers, because indie developers say, like, literally they're a 3-person team or something. They can't hire dozens and dozens of beta testers. But early access, the way that when it's done right, is super, super cheap. So it's not a pay $50 and you can play the whole, like, the part of the game we've made so far. It's pay us $5-10 and you can play a chunk of the game, and you will actually be helping us with release. But then there's a much more intimate relationship between the developers and the fans, because they are making the game with your direct input and your constant suggestions and stuff. I think that is a little bit different. And if there's a game that looks really promising, I would be okay getting early access or helping greenlight a game like that. Because,
Yeah.
but knowing that you really are throwing your money away, you may get a game one day, but you are throwing it away. I think that's a big difference between that and pre-ordering a game that you know is going to be made with or without your money. For instance, Fallout 4. Like, that game is coming out with or without you. Bethesda does not need your extra $60. So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about pre-orders, even like with The Witcher. Like, I know The Witcher expansions are going to be good, but it's going to be basically the same amount of money then. I can download it in 30 minutes or an hour when it comes out. Like, I'll just exercise some patience. I will happily give them the money. I will cheerfully give them the money when they give me a completed game.
So you're saying you didn't pre-order Witcher for a preload?
Well, I got it with a NVIDIA code, actually. So I had it months ahead of time, but no, I don't.
You wouldn't have?
No. I mean, I had every confidence the game was going to be amazing, but it could have had terrible launch issues, and you don't know about it.
So do you just wait for, even with The Witcher, let's just say, would you wait for reviews and other people playing the game so you wouldn't play it the day of?
Normally,
I'm only saying that just because I think, like, if you're going to buy it day of anyways, like, I don't see there's any difference. I really don't think there's any difference.
Okay, no, there is a difference. Okay, so by the time a game comes out, there are plenty of people who are playing it ahead of us. So normally what's happened this year is I wake up, I flip to that game's subreddit or the r/games Reddit, and I just read the launch threads. There's always launch threads on different subreddits, and I just kind of read what people are saying. Like, if the game is broken, everyone's going to be talking about it because it's an echo chamber. Reddit's an echo chamber. So if there's one small problem, people are going to act like the world's literally ending. So if people are generally fairly positive or neutral on that, then I read some actual reviews. Then I'm like, yep, everything seems good to go. I can buy it. It will be installed long before I have time to play it that day. Like, by the time I'm ready to play it that evening, I'll have the game. Like, it's kind of a false emergency that marketing puts us into of, holy crap, you got to pre-order to get it. It's like, no, you will get it. There's no, like, even with physical copies, I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 for my PS3 at 11:30 p.m. on launch day. So, like, 23 and a half hours after it came out or whenever, like when it came out at midnight, and there were still like 15 copies in the store.
There's no game that runs out anymore.
Yeah, they don't run out.
You have to know what to pre-order if you're doing it just to make sure you get it. Like,
but I don't think there's anything
like for the
you need
Wii,
to do.
Super Mario All-Stars, like when they released that disc, that set for the Wii, that sold out. And
now, that's Nintendo though. So did it really sell out, or did Nintendo purposely only release enough copies so that it would be hard to find, because they do that stuff all the time?
Even if they did that, it's still sold out. So if you're planning on playing it that day, you won't have it.
I mean, it doesn't make them less of a dick, but you still, if
I would
you
say
want to get it,
I wouldn't pre-order it for the very reason of I don't want to support that. I think the only good line in season 2 of True Detective, the only good line was when they said, "I think we get the world we deserve," and I think. Taking it down from the weird tone of that show, that's the case with pre-orders. We won't get anything different than this because people have no backbone. Like, every time a game comes out and it's totally broken on release and you can't play it and the servers are locked and everything's like a burning pile of garbage, people are like, this sucks. Why would they do this to us? Oh, I can't believe it. Blah, 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 blah. And then next one comes out and people are just falling all over themselves to throw money at the pre-order, which, again, for on a console, it isn't quite as bad. If you can just put $5 down at GameStop, that isn't quite as bad. But if you buy it digitally on a console or if you buy it digitally on PC, there really is no reason to be giving them $60 months ahead of time. These days, you have almost no guarantees that the game is going to work when it comes out because it's a total crapshoot for AAA games.
Did you guys talk about...
I mean, again, the only reason to do it is preload. If you have you have 100 megabit.
50.
You have 50 now?
Yeah. I've had 50 for a year.
Really?
I want to
when we
chime in
Fios,
real
it's
quick
50
here.
down, 50 up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I do actually disagree partially with Jeremiah. I think there are reasons for pre-ordering, one of which is the fact that my internet is not that great. It took me like a day to download GTA 5. And I wanted to be playing it at 12 a.m., but yeah,
that's a want though. That's a good reason you should pay early. you're still taking a big gamble with $60.
Everything with gaming is a want.
I'm also
There's
no
not,
need
for gaming.
I know,
I'm also
but
not finished. I'm
okay,
also
all right,
not
all right,
finished.
All right.
So that's just the simple reason for why I pre-order some games. And my second philosophy is just, fool me once. There are developers and publishers that I want to support and that I'm okay putting the money out there towards the game. The games I pre-ordered this year are City Skylines, The Witcher 3, and now Fallout 4. None of those developers have let me down with any of their games. Once they do, that's my last pre-order. At that point, I'll pick up a physical copy or change how I'm doing it. But I'm okay with that risk because to me, it's a very, very reasonable risk.
I respect that reason. I wouldn't do it, but I respect that reason. Like that does make enough sense.
I do look at it completely differently from you in that matter. Yeah.
I also know that you will totally snub businesses who you feel have lost your business, and I'm saying justifiably. Like I'm not picking on you, but because you do that on a regular basis. You say, okay, you don't get my business anymore, and they don't get your business. So it's
a fool me once. I pre-ordered Battlefield 3 and I pre-ordered Battlefield 4, and I'm not. Yeah. I'm not pre-ordering.
And you didn't pre-order Hardline, right?
No, I bought it 3 days later for like a discount key code website. I'm not pre-ordering Battlefront, and I also haven't bought Hardline Premium and all that stuff. Fool me once. I no longer support DICE as a developer, and that sucks. That really sucks. But
DICE isn't the same developer it used to be. So
that's how it is.
The people that you supported don't care because they're not there anymore.
Let me connect those two thoughts. I absolutely agree with Dave on that because like Source Valve. I would gladly pay now for Half-Life 3 for 3 years until Half-Life 3 came out because I love the company so much and I hope.
But you have fast enough internet; you could download it in a couple hours.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But that doesn't matter. It's my love for it. So, but and I told like with Fallout as well. Like I'm not worried that the game's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal game. I'm really excited. It's gonna be probably way better than I imagine it's gonna be. But
I don't know if that's even possible at this point.
I think it's possible.
Better than you imagine. Okay.
Connecting to Jeremiah's, whether or not we enjoy, which is totally fine to pre-order games. I think in general for gaming developers now, because I think developers now, in a sense, are catching up every year. Like I feel like we're getting farther and farther behind for most games, like Call of Duty, Halo, things like that. I feel like each one is falling behind. Where it's like, especially like Battlefront or Battlefield. It's like the last game, like crap, like. I'm looking at a game I played like 10 years ago, and it was 16-player multiplayer. There was no freaking lag at all. Like, you were doing all this cool stuff. Yeah, I know you don't have these crazy physics, but I'm like, we are so behind on a lot of that multiplayer stuff. But I feel like now they're just like, crap, well, we can't afford to delay a game right now. We don't have a game. We need to make money. So I think each time they're just scrambling to catch up, where I think one of these days they need to go, you know what? We're not putting out a game this year. I know it's going to suck, it's going to hurt financially, but we're going to give it extra time and we're going to make a damn good game, and then we'll be caught up. And then we can actually be on a good schedule. Do you have any
empirical evidence for any of that? We have to make the game we have to have money, like right now. Because GTA was able to, Rockstar obviously makes a lot of money.
Yeah, but Rockstar will sell 25 million copies.
Right, but they were able to delay a significant amount of time.
Most of the annualized franchises, I don't think it's they have to. I think it's they know that Assassin's Creed can be broken year after year, which, by the way, early reviews say Syndicate is broken. Same issues as Unity. But we'll see when it actually releases. But all the people who've played it so far say, yep, it's broken. But they can put it out every year, and people do buy it. So until people stop buying it, they will keep putting it out there because it's a guaranteed income. So I'm sure there are some developers. We know there are developers. THQ went under because it couldn't get good games out fast enough. Would THQ have been around longer if they slowed down and put out better games less often? Maybe. Would they have still been around if they put out worse games more often and capitalized on franchises? Maybe. Probably both would have worked. But yeah.
My one thing for pre-ordering is if you know you're going to buy a game and there's a bonus attached to it that you actually want to take advantage of, that's when it makes sense to pre-order. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm not going to just pre-order any game.
I hate when that happens.
I barely pay full price for games when I buy them. But for the games that I already know that I will pay full price for, I have no problem pre-ordering if if there's something attached to it. Like
Yeah.
if you pre-order at Best Buy, you're going to get an extra $10, gift card with it. And so I already know I'm going to go out and buy something the day of anyway, so I might as well just pre-order it and give myself the extra $10.
I see what you're saying, but at the same point, to me, that's just supporting a crappy system that I don't want to support. Like that, it shouldn't be done that way, though. Like you shouldn't stuff like if you pre-order from Best Buy, you get this little bit of DLC, or you order from GameStop, you get this DLC.
Yeah.
I just don't think that system should be supported, period, because it's toxic. So you guys like collecting stuff, so it means something totally different for you. So I'm serious, like I'm not picking on you guys, but
I'd say in general, a lot of that stuff I think is generally crap, and like I wish it didn't happen. I think every once in a while it does happen, and it works out really well. I think some like GameStop sometimes will have really cool stuff. There was one, I think it was for Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It had a really cool little extra mission. I don't really consider it extra. I just consider them kind of like
it's not extra. They were like, hey, what mission would be cool if we just pulled to the side,
or they made it. I don't know, whatever. But I was like, it's whatever. I was planning on getting the game anyways. Might as well get a cool extra level where the other Xbox version didn't have it. But anyways, I think in general, I wish it wasn't like that. But I think the one thing I would miss though is, let's say a game comes out on Tuesday, like Dave and I, we both put in to take the day off on Tuesday so we could enjoy the game from midnight Monday night and play Fallout all day Tuesday, just have lots of fun. But here's the one thing, my internet speed is not as fast as yours. I would miss the preload. Like I got Fallout 4 digitally. I want to have it and never want to take it out of the disc.
Wait, you got it digitally also?
Oh yeah. I might actually sell the Pip-Boy like thing. Like I want to look at it, be really careful with it, but I might actually hold it on for about a year and then sell it, because I think those things are probably worth quite a bit. But anyways, I do want to have it digitally, so on my internet, I would be downloading it. I definitely wouldn't be able to play at midnight, of course.
That's because you bought it on the PlayStation instead of the PC, so you're going to be stuck on there now.
It's gotten significantly faster, by the way.
What?
It has gotten,
it's gotten significantly faster.
You guys say that. I'll let you know when it's faster on my end.
I had to do like a 17 gig patch for something. Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, I was going to say 17 gig. Okay, that's a different issue we can talk about. While you mention that,
it took less than an hour.
Okay, this is real quick. Sorry, quick aside, then we should move on. You know what's really stupid? I turned on my PlayStation the other day after not having turned it on for like 3 days, and there's a small firmware patch. I wanted to use Amazon Prime Video. I wanted to watch a video, and we had to sit for 15 minutes eating dinner, waiting while it installs the update, because you can't do anything till the update installs. You can't do anything related to the internet.
Did it not do it automatically? That's weird.
I was moving it around. I move it to do Potato Masher stuff, so it wasn't in rest mode. But can you tell me a legitimate reason why I shouldn't be able to watch Prime Video while it downloads this crap in the background? It's a 200 meg patch. That should be a 10-second download.
No,
like I should not.
Did you have it up on the main screen? Like the main download?
It would not let me open up Amazon Prime Video. I tried to open it up. It says you must update firmware to use this application because it's connected to the internet.
I know.
Maybe if there's a security patch that deals with the internet, then it would make sense.
Is someone going to hack my Prime Video?
No, but if there is an exploitation from opening your ports
that uses the network stuff, that makes sense.
There wasn't though. It was
you can't update Flash while running Flash. I mean, it makes sense.
It's their standard policy that if there's an update, you can't use anything internet related. It could have just done it in the background and then it said, "Oh, restart your PS4 to install the update." And I would have gone, "Okay," and we're in and out in 30 seconds instead of 15 minutes. That's stupid.
You don't have that set to automatically happen?
It would.
He said he moves it around, so it wasn't in rest mode. So it would have done that. Yeah.
It would have done it if it was in rest mode, but I don't keep it in rest mode when I'm moving it back and forth for Potato Masher stuff.
Either way, why did it take you so long?
Because the PlayStation Network is slow. I mean, it took a minute to download it. Or no, it took like 2 minutes to download it, which is about normal. But the unpacking, installing, and restarting took like 10, 12 minutes.
That sounds... Yeah. Okay.
Everything else worked fine. I'm just telling you that's how long it took. Like, I don't know what it was patching, but it took a little while. Anyway. Okay, it's mail time. You can write in to be a part of the show.
Mail time!
That was like a weird moaning thing you're starting out with there. You can write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com to be a part of the show. Just like a weird stranger did, she has written another email, and her subject line is weekly check-in. What's up, CSG? I'm writing to inform you of all the ways you've offended me this week. First of all, I'm disappointed that my favorite Shenanigans was giving me polite laughter, Dave.
Polite laughter.
I think Jane about her name, A Weird Stranger. Remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah. I think James is right. There needs to be a recount. Perhaps I was giving polite favoritism. Secondly, guess where I live, Jeremiah? That's right, Indiana. It seems you really enjoy unintentionally insulting me. I did pick on Indiana last week. So here's a list of stuff about me that you might want to make fun of in the next podcast. And so we will. 1, I'm a girl. Do you hate women? No, but I'm glad I'm not one. 2, I'm happily married. Detest marriage and all it stands for? Nope, I like my marriage. 3, I have a daughter. Kids are stupid, right? Nope, kids are fine. I'm glad I don't have any right now. 4, I'm an electronic repair technician. Are you resistant to Ohm's law? No, I worship at the altar of the Ohm. 5, I was an army brat. Do you dislike the military? No, just brats. 6, I'm 36. Aren't 36-year-olds the worst? James is 37, so I can successfully say 36-year-olds are definitely the worst.
I heard that podcast.
37
I was like,
is cool.
Wait, he's 37? I kind of thought he was like 35 or 36.
Anyway, 7, my parents are still married. Does this disgust you? No, but the thought of their naked bodies slamming against each other in marital bliss does. 8, my husband is from Ohio. That's practically Indiana, right? Yes. Do you also hate Buckeyes or just Hoosiers? I don't hate you. I pity the fact that you live where you can't see oceans or happiness. 9, I have 2 platinum trophies on the PS4. I notice you don't have any. Granted, one of them is in Rocket League, and we've all seen how I play. There's plenty of room for your shit talking on this point. I had to make a new PSN name when I got my YouTube channel. All my platinum trophies are lost to the wind. Spoilers, there weren't any of those either. 10, I like listening to your podcast. That's dumb, right? Okay, in all seriousness, you're spot on with your description of Hoosiers.
At least he doesn't listen to the tech podcast. That would be dumb.
The Nap podcast.
You're spot on. You're spot on with your description of Hoosiers. I'm quite pasty. My grandpa had skin cancer, so I won't apologize for my lack of a tan. I did grow up on soda. I finally, within the last year or so, quit drinking soda altogether. I'm 5'7"-ish, so slightly taller than average for my age and gender. Not exactly obese, though I am surrounded by the obese when I visit my local Walmart. You may have been right, but I hope you learned a valuable lesson about how words can hurt. Thirdly, if you insist on not using my super awesome gamer tag to talk about me, at least call me Cindy. Cynthia is what teachers and bill collectors call me. Fourthly, we lost in Rocket League to Team America UK. We could have used your help out there. I was the best player on their team. What can I say? It was fun demolishing Dave, though. It's not worth any points, but it's quite satisfying, especially after the polite laughter comment. Fifthly, Joel told me we can never be friends unless it's on Rocket League. I understand, but it still makes me tear up a little. I guess he doesn't care to be in the running for favorite Shenanigans.
Okay, you know how they asked to put their username on if anyone wanted to join them on PSN or whatever, right? Well, I get an invite from them on PSN. I didn't recognize. I totally forgot about it. And I was like, who the F is this? I was like, because like sometimes I'll play a game and someone will just add me an invite. I'm like, I'm not going to play with a random person I just played, like especially not over chat. So I was just like, I just ignored it for the longest period of time. Then I listened to the last podcast where you guys were talking about it again. And it was like, no one friended us or something like that. And I was just like, oh, that was them. I felt really bad.
He says, she had high hopes for you after watching the push the subscribe button crazy story video. She enjoyed it. She wanted to be your friend. How dare you? I guess the only person that didn't offend me this week is James. We'll see if he keeps his campaign promise to me. I'm not ready to issue a new winner yet, as laughing at my jokes is still worth the most points. Seems like you guys may need to do some leveling up. Good luck, A Weird Stranger. Thanks, Cynthia. All right. Thanks for watching the show. Click like and subscribe.
Apparently Dave is grieving.
Yeah, Dave is gone somewhere. I'm assuming he'll be back soon. All right, next bit of mail is from Prolific. Prolific says, hey, CSG, just wanted to drop you guys a line to say, great show. Thanks. I have been listening for the past 5 months or so and finally built my first computer using quite a bit of the knowledge I have gleaned from your tech podcast. Other people like it, Joel. Although I thoroughly enjoy your regular gaming podcast as well. I have a question, though. I've noticed that recently you have all upgraded your mics. I was wondering, what mic are you using? Vocal clarity sounds amazing, and I wouldn't mind picking up one for myself for Twitch streaming in the future and a podcast I sometimes appear on for Vega Conflict. Keep up the great work and stay casual. P.S. Now that I have a PC that can hang with GTA 5, I may have to roam with the Seal Slapper soon. Stay tuned. If you ever want to play with the Seal Slappers, pop into our Teamspeak around like 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Quite a few nights. We are doing
whenever Debbie gets the itch.
Exactly, whenever the conch shell blows. But to answer the question about mics, firstly, proper mic placement, a quiet room, and proper processing are worth more than having the difference between an okay mic and a really great mic. And we've put a lot of work into all of that. But the mics we're using, I am using a Rode Podcaster. It's a USB mic. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm excited to get it into a better sounding room though. Dave and Joel are using Audio-Technica ATR 2500s. Those are really good condenser mics. Now, they are a little more omnidirectional than I'd like, and they do pick up background noise a little more than we'd like. I actually do a bit of work to their vocals after the fact to tune some of that out. It's weird. Sitting in Joel's room, I've never heard this, but there is some really low humming noise. It's not a computer. Like, it sounds like an AC unit or something. But I never hear it when I'm in his house. I only hear it on his mic recording, so I'm not really sure what the deal is.
It's Joel. It's Joel thinking about Star Wars. He's like,
but he and Dave's mics, those are pretty good. Those mics can be had for $50 or $60. And then James's mic is an Audio-Technica ATR 2100. It's a USB mic, but it also has an XLR out. I think that might be my favorite mic out of the ones they're using. I actually like it so much, I'm tempted to get the two of them. I'm tempted to get Joel and Dave the same mics. Because it does a really great job of isolating noise. James talks a little bit quieter.
yes, I do.
He does. And it's very directional. So the sound quality is not as good as like a really good studio mic or something. But for $50, it's a great sounding mic, and it can be used with regular XLR stuff if you ever need to. So, James, I guess you've been pretty happy with it. We complain a lot less about this one, don't we?
Yeah, you complain a lot less.
But if you ever need any help figuring out your mic setup or anything for streaming, let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. But that's what we use. Okay, and then our last bit is from Bezetrix, who is in chat. He says, "Hey, you filthy casuals. I heard you guys never got any hate mail, so I decided it's only right that you are given the true YouTube stardom experience before you continue."
Ass, bitch. Sorry.
What were you listening to before you got on?
Hi, Tourette's, Joel. Joel's listening to that dubwub music. The kid's like, ass, bitch.
Make him spew.
Don't kill him before Star Wars comes out. He won't get to go to the heaven of the Force.
Watching Joel drown.
Oh, so close.
Okay, all right. Here's this hate mail. Dear Casual Shenanigans, you suck. All right, you're now ready to become YouTube millionaires. He goes on to say, I wanted to write and thank you guys for all the knowledge and advice I've picked up over the lifetime of this podcast. As this past weekend, I have completed my first PC build. Good job, Beza. I had an amazing experience. It started when my mom's graphics card for her business machine gave up, so I took the opportunity to upgrade my own rig and pass my old but trusty Zotac GTS 450 to my mom. I purchased a GTX 960 and a Corsair 200R case. Since I'm still in high school and have a limited amount of cash flow, the $400 of, I think this means Canadian money, I spent drove me to walk around my house in shock for a couple of hours. I brought the new shipped parts and the recycled ones from my older rig and started building it in the new case. It was surprisingly easy. The build went flawlessly, and I owe it to the year of fantasizing research and advice from the Casual Shenanigans podcast. Thanks. I don't know if fantasizing is what he meant to write, but we're going to go with it.
What is fantasizing research? That's like what Dave is doing for...
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do with car parts a lot. So
Jeremiah, I've heard your tone on the tech podcast. Fantasizing research is occasionally correct. Oh, have you seen this new motherboard?
Anyway, even though my rig looks perfect and refined, I'm not too pleased with the mess of wire behind my monitor leading to the PC. I am a freak when it comes to cable management, but no matter how many anchors and Velcro ties I use, I've always longed for a more perfect way of controlling the mess. I want to know what you guys do to keep your tabletop neat, and if there are any methods or unique products that can be used to tame my wire-based OCD. I'm looking for some sort of modular cable socks and maybe some custom length cables for cutting down slack, but I wanted something potentially flexible to different configurations. Thanks for your help and dedication.
If you get like a pair of scissors and just like snip the wires, you can like make them shorter.
I mean, in theory you can, but for sleeves, look up TechFlex sleeves. They look like the stuff that goes around your power supply cables if you have a nice power supply. And you can get those in different sizes, and you just cut the length down to go around your cables to keep them all together. I mean, what do you guys do for cable management? I just shove everything through the little cable hole in the desk, and it's a mess underneath it.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
My IKEA desk I just got actually has a little like underside rack thing that I put all the wires. I love having, wires that are nice and clean, but the frustrating part is like I find myself unplugging hard drives and moving a lot that it just gets ruined. Then it's like all the time I spent putting it, I was like, crap, now it's like takes forever to get unhooked. I want wireless everything.
Yeah, I think most of us just kind of shove all the wires where we can't see them.
If you can find a way to creatively hide the wires in like a single location.
I mean, on top of my desk looks good.
Like if you can zip tie or you Velcro and then put it in something or underneath something specific, and then just have everything tied from there. All your extra can be hidden from you. That's what I do. That's what I do.
I was surprised he's having trouble with Velcro, because I actually use Velcro ties to do like all the router cables, because the router is on the shelf over here next to my computer, so all the cables hang down off the shelf, and I use Velcro to ties to make it like all one big cable bundle, so it's at least like neat looking. That works pretty well for me. I just tend to bundle everything into one giant tube of wires.
So basically, we're not in any position to tell you how to keep everything neat.
Yeah.
Send us pictures of your rig,
just
maybe.
Get just a MacBook Air and nothing else.
I mean, currently I have 3 desktops and an Xbox One and a PS4 all wired up under my desk. So I don't think it's even possible to make that look good. Like, that's just, it is what it is. But now it's time for 90 Seconds with Joel, a part of the podcast where Joel talks about whatever he wants for however long he wants, and we pretend that it is still 90 seconds. This is going to be a freaking long episode, I've realized.
Is going to be?
Yeah, it is.
You say is going to be?
I mean, because oh, that's right.
Yeah, we have an hour on the timer right now.
We've already had the interview.
Like 50 minutes interview.
Interview already happened. That's right. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
keep this short.
Hold on.
What?
Gonna just cut out the part where I forgot we already did the interview. Sorry, people watching live. Okay. All right, Joel, go.
Okay, I'll keep this really quick. This is kind of related to Star Wars a little bit, but kind of like gaming stuff in general. But I had to apologize to Dave not too long ago about me kind of beating up on him for Arma. Like, it's a game he loves. I didn't really quite get it. I still think it's absolute ass.
dick.
I'm a friendly dick. But anyway, but continuing from that, for Star Wars, I hate the reality that we live in now, where it's just, especially and I think it's mostly just online, because people, when they're in front of you and they see your face, they become cowards and they don't usually say what they mean, or they actually think a little bit more about what they're about to say. But online, it's frustrating to see how many people don't ever root for anything. There's always just, it's gonna be crap. It's gonna suck. I hate all of you guys for liking this. It's a hacks. They're making this for profit and everything. There's never like a, hey, let's just be excited. I don't know. There's never, let's just get around something and just be happy for something. Now I would say for Star Wars,
they're called Apple fanboys.
That's a fairly solid point. Did you guys see that they're putting out a pencil that's digital and it's $100 and it charges like it's a penis sticking out from the iPad? Can you believe how amazing that is?
It comes with a penis charger?
Oh my God! Guys, headphones! Praise jobs! So, other than Apple fans, everyone else just hates everything.
No, it just frustrates me, because I was like, the amount of people that are just like, I don't know, just so negative about stuff. So, and I caught myself on, with Dave. I don't want to ruin something that other people really enjoy, whether or not I don't like it. But I'm like, keep your filth off the internet. And the people that are like this, I hope this
keep
is
your filth.
Old man Joel says, keep your filth off the internet.
I was thinking about this all day, and I've been thinking about this all day. I've been thinking about this all day, and I was like, what would I want to happen to people that are just super negative and just dicks to people online, that are just like, that some guy's having a fun time. I'm excited for Star Wars. It's like, I hate you and this is stupid, and just trying to ruin people's time. I hope randomly during the day, when you're just sitting around thinking you're totally safe, like
all comments expressed during 90 Seconds with Joel are solely the opinion of Joel and do not reflect the Casual Shenanigans podcast. Go, Joel.
I hope just poop comes flying out of nowhere right into your mouth. Like, just the worst thing ever.
That's what you were thinking? That's what you were thinking all day? You had all day and became a poop flying into
What's the worst thing? I don't want them to die or nothing. I just want them to be like, so like, what the, like, they'll be scared to breathe during the day. It's like, don't open your mouth. Poop flies. Oh, this is the worst thing ever.
They can breathe through their nose.
Not for long.
I don't know. It's just, This is my what do you call it?
Wait,
Announcement.
Hold on.
PSA, Joel. PSA.
There we go,
Wait. Where did this thought originate?
what do you mean? The poop in the mouth?
Yeah.
No,
Where were you at the time?
Oh boy.
I was not on the toilet. It just pisses me off. Just people, just be nice to people. Stop being stupid idiots. Or I hope poop flies in your mouth and it's the worst taste ever. So just stop it.
Can we call it, Joel, just like a culture of contradiction? Like just being, just going against something just because someone else likes it. I do see that a lot.
It doesn't help anything. Like, I don't know. When with Star Wars coming out, no one knows if it's going to be really good or not. But like, I feel like there used to be, even like 10 years ago, like about like when there was less internet types, less people had it. It was more like, hey, let's rally, or let's hope they win. Like, I think of Star Wars in a way like the underdog for Olympics. Like, everyone wants a root behind, like, I hope it's good, I hope it's good. But instead, it's not like, I hope it's good and maybe it will suck. It's gonna suck. They're trying to, screw us all over and take all of our money and nostalgia the crap out of it. I'm like, there are people that are working really hard to make a cool movie, Like, it's not just for the money. They need to make money to stay alive. I'm sorry. Oh, I guess I wish I'll be artists and just live for free. But I'm sorry, no one can do that, unless you want to be a hermit living in the cave, drawing paintings or something like that, and then no one ever will see him because he'll get buried or something. But, like, just stop being so negative.
So when the next Kanye West album comes out, you're going to be rooting for him and saying he needs to make a living. Is that true, Joel?
Yeah, yes, but I could say, but I'm not. But I'm also not going to root for something that also promotes bad stuff as well. So
what's bad stuff?
Well, I'm not saying.
Yeah, what does Kanye West sing about?
I'm just.
What does he sing about?
I'm saying like if it's something bad. I'm not talking about everything, So I'll exclude rap. Don't vote for that. Don't root for that. But root for most things that are good.
Root for stuff Joel likes, like bonobos. You can listen to just people like screeching across fiddles and like someone just having a spiritual experience with a pipe organ. I haven't really watched most
Joel,
of the stuff.
Can we sum this PSA up as just like, it's like the preschool adage where it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like, it's just, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. But it just, Let the people who love Star Wars love Star Wars, and the people that hate Star Wars go back to...
Yes, Joel, how can you bring this background to Star Wars?
Let the poop come forth.
No! All right, no more talking for Dave.
All right, so...
You disagree? You can poop in the mouth!
That's the worst thing ever.
There are worse things.
Shane has usually been our person to make graphics of Joel when he says stuff. I really look forward to seeing what he could make of Joel's poop in the mouth.
We're now taking artwork submissions for someone who doesn't like Star Wars getting what they deserve. Send them into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. There are no prizes. All right.
2 Star Wars is 1 cup.
As we leave you this evening, you can, as always, write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Tweet at casualshenanigan. Find us on our website, casualshenanigans.com. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Dave and I have our YouTube channels, Evil Viking 13 and Germ Gaming. More Potato Masher videos are coming. Cool stuff is always happening, and we appreciate you guys.
Speaking of Star Wars,
yes,
we're going to do... Joel, do you want to explain what we're doing?
Yeah, we just released the first episode talking about the Force Awakens trailer, the final trailer.
A casual conversation they released earlier.
Yeah, casual conversations. But we're gonna go from episode 1 through episode 6, leading up to the movie. So I'm watching episode 2 tomorrow night with my family, and then we'll be talking about it. So stay tuned, guys. If you guys want to kind of we're gonna just talk about kind of the first time we saw the movie, our thoughts on it, and how it might relate to the Force Awakens.
All right.
Cover everything?
Yep, I think it does. And your first conversation is doing well. People seem to be enjoying it. So I look forward to hearing you guys talk about The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Because if you can pull some shreds of enjoyment out of that movie, I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Don't tell me that the lightsaber music wasn't amazing.
The lightsaber music?
The fight with the Fates. Duel of the Fates.
Don't tell me that wasn't amazing. During the fight. Oh, no. There were. Well, when Joel's singing it sounds a little worse. I think it's losing some of the impact. No, there were fun aspects to the movies, but
Yeah.
I mean, like as an overall,
It's working.
right. That Eddie.
Dude, I use that line every single time something like unexpectedly looks a lot better than I expected in Norman. I'm like, it's working, it's working.
Wait, Joel, you're doing this again. I'm working.
Mama taught you well, boy.
It's working.
Those aren't words. Those aren't even words, Joel.
Oh my.
Oh, the beach trip.
This podcast right now, I'm so strongly.
All right, and with that, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay casual.
And we're sorry.
And don't be a dick.
But
Or
if you are a
Joel will
dick,
find something to do with it.
If you are a dick, keep your mouth closed because there's poop coming in.
Joel, I really think we've reached the diminishing returns on the suitability of that joke. Oh my.
Oh, sorry.